I'm Thor Sewell. I'm the product line director in Data Platforms Group. I'll be joined by Irma Esmer, who's the lead architect, and Ram Ramakrishnan, performance director in the Data Platforms Group. For the next hour or so, we'll be updating you on the third gen Intel Xeon Scalable platform and answer your questions. We have broken down our presentation into three sections: platform, architecture, and performance. So we're thinking we'll go through each section and then open up for questions after each section. If we're not able to address your questions at the moment, we can certainly try to address them at the end, or we'll follow up with you after the session for additional information. All right, we've been talking about our broad portfolio of hardware and software solutions for a few years now as a central part of our data center strategy, thinking holistically about move data faster, store and retrieve more data quickly, and process everything everywhere. As customers today need much more than a CPU to manage their workloads. They need system-level solutions, CPUs, XPUs, memory, and Ethernet working together, and they need the software tools and solutions to deploy their infrastructure quickly. At the launch, we announced the latest additions to our data center portfolio, tied to the launch of the third gen Xeon Scalable processor, the codenamed Ice Lake that you've heard. The products and solutions will enhance and extend the capabilities of our third gen Xeon Scalable processors that you also see here. We launched the 200 gigabit Ethernet adapter that's built on our Ethernet 800 series. We also announced our latest Optane SSDs and Optane persistent memory technologies, as well as 3D NAND drives that support the platform. And we launched our AgileX FPGA family, which is shipping today. Moreover, we know it's about system-level solutions, which are important for our customers' buying decisions. And we have over 500 ready-to-deploy partner solutions in market today. This year, we are refreshing our select solution portfolio to support our latest third-gen Xeon processors, the Ice Lake processors. So let's take a minute and talk about Xeon Scalable processors first. We launched our first Xeon Scalable processors in 2017, and since then, we've shipped over 50 million of these processors to customers around the world. Xeon powers the world's data centers, and it's the foundation for the multi-cloud environments today. And we put tremendous amount of time and energy into optimizing Xeon for the cloud. And we work with our ecosystem partners, our cloud customers, to ensure the cloud runs best on Xeon. In a little under a decade, as you see here, we've deployed over 1 billion Xeon cores to power the cloud. And today, by our estimates, there are over 800 cloud providers deploying Xeon-based servers. With that foundation, let's go deeper into third-gen Xeon Scalable processor family. We're delivering several processor, platform, and technology enhancements that directly benefit our customers' use cases. Like our previous Xeon Scalable processors, we've made several significant optimizations within the platform to target a wide range of market segments while continuing to deliver leadership performance in some of the most popular workloads today, like AI, as you heard, and HPC. There are three key capabilities that I'd like to highlight that we're building into our latest Xeon Scalable processor. Number one, third-gen Xeon is our first mainstream two-socket server processor to feature Intel SGX technology. We've offered Intel SGX for years in our Xeon E platform, but now we're bringing this technology to our two-socket servers. Second, we're making third-gen Xeon's processors even more performant in AI, as you heard. And Xeon Scalable processors remain the industry's only data center processors to feature the integrated AI accelerators. And finally, third-gen Xeon comes with built-in crypto acceleration, which reduces the performance impact of pervasive encryption, which we'll get into in a later slide. So I wanted to talk about the processors a little more. Our third-gen Xeon offers up to 40 cores per processor, and as you saw earlier, we have SKU offerings that scale down to 8 cores as well. Third-gen Xeon delivers 20% IPC improvements, measuring spec-in with ISO core count, ISO frequency, and ISO compiler specs gen over gen. The increased core count that we talked about and our built-in acceleration features enable us to deliver the outstanding performance with an average increase of 1.46x gen over gen. You'll get a breakdown during Ram's presentation of this 1.46 geomean. And in AI, as you've heard, we're delivering 1.74x higher inference performance on BERT natural language processing, gen on gen, as a result of those software optimizations and leveraging DL Boost. For customers who are looking to refresh their legacy infrastructure, they'll see a substantial 2.65x average performance increase compared to 5-year-old Xeon systems. So those are codenamed Broadwell, and the customers will realize that significant gain. Finally, we have a significant number of SKUs that are optimized for a broad range of market segments, including our end SKUs, which target networking applications, as well as our IoT and edge SKUs, which support higher temperatures and longer life cycles. In fact, we have introduced 38 SKUs publicly, 15 of which are segment optimized. 4 of those we classify as the N SKUs. Next, we'll take a look at the overall platform capabilities. We're delivering built-in AI acceleration, advanced security capabilities, and scalability and flexibility, such as enabled by Intel Speed Select technology and Intel AVX 512. And we're increasing the number of memory channels from 6 to 8, and increasing memory capacity with Optane Persistent Memory 200 series. Also, we're improving I/O with 64 lanes of PCI Express Gen 4 per socket, so 128 lanes in a 2-socket server. On top of these capabilities, the portfolio of select solutions and market-ready solutions are purpose-built for edge-to-cloud workloads. Ram will go into more performance-level details later in the session, but I wanted to provide a view of some of the results we're delivering across several key market segments and workloads with our 3rd-gen Xeon. I think this helps demonstrate what we mean when we say flexible performance from the edge to the cloud. As you can see, we're delivering an impressive 50% or higher gen-on-gen performance gains across many market segments and workloads, including improvements on latency-sensitive workloads like HammerDB, MySQL, WordPress, network communication workloads like 5G user plane function and CDN Live, also image classification workloads with ResNet 50 at the edge, and nanoscale molecular dynamics, or NAMD, in HPC, and then BERT natural language processing in AI. I do have to say that it's great to see all the unique ways our customers will be able to leverage our technology and solution offerings to create these great business opportunities going forward. We went into production with Ice Lake at the end of 2020, and the industry has moved into adoption. So I wanted to walk through a few elements of this view. First, we've been rapidly ramping the product through the first quarter of the year, and in the first 3 months of 2021, we've shipped over 200,000 processors. That's a significant ramp for us, and we intend to accelerate it and utilize our IDM advantage to supply the market demand. We have all major cloud service providers planning to deploy services based on Ice Lake, with the first services coming online starting this month. Over 50 unique OEMs and ODMs are set to introduce over 250 Ice Lake-based server designs. Also, as you see there, major network providers who seek to leverage Xeon to modernize their infrastructure are starting initial deployments. And there's a significant amount of interest within the HPC community, both within the HPC labs as well as cloud service providers who are looking to deploy HPC as a service. Across the board, it's very exciting to see the industry adoption and enthusiasm for 3rd-gen Xeon. I want to click down and provide some more details on the built-in capabilities we're delivering in 3rd-gen Xeon. First, the Xeon platform delivers the performance, productivity, and simplicity that customers need to enable AI everywhere. I did want to highlight 3 diverse examples of AI deployment into enterprise and established industries. The first is HY Medical. It's one of many examples where our customers are choosing Xeon because it exceeded their deep learning performance needs for medical imaging. Second there, Burger King is one of many examples where our customers choose Xeon with optimized software for increased productivity. So data practitioners can build smarter models faster. If you look at the top of the chart, you see that as compared to default distributions, they can see up to a 10x improvement on TensorFlow for deep learning on ResNet 50. and up to a 100x improvement with scikit-learn for machine learning. And finally, with Intel AI, we deliver simplicity to scale to even more businesses. So DC Water is one of many examples where our customers are choosing to partner with a solution provider for improved simplicity and time to solution. In this case, DC Water was able, through AI, to automate their underground pipe inspection. In summary, our customers can now infuse AI into more apps from edge to cloud. What I wanted to touch on here was security. Securing customer data is paramount, and Intel SGX provides a trusted execution environment to help protect sensitive code and data. So with hundreds of research studies under its belt and continuous hardening over time, Intel SGX has become the smallest potential attack surface within the data center. We're seeing a great adoption throughout the ecosystem. Intel SGX is deployed across major CSPs and is already leveraged in production by hundreds of the most secure sensitive enterprises. For example, AOK, one of the largest health insurance providers in Germany, is leveraging SGX for digital health record management, and Consilient, who is leveraging SGX to allow banks to share records without revealing private customer information. Third Gen Xeon is not just about application isolation. We're also introducing Intel Total Memory Encryption for basic bulk encryption of the entire memory space to protect against physical attacks. And we're introducing Intel Platform Firmware Resilience for defending and even recovering the underlying firmware layer to protect against permanent denial of service attacks. In the area of cryptography, for more than a decade, Intel has led the industry in reducing the cost of cryptographic algorithms through innovative instructions like Intel's AES-NI. Third Gen Xeon continues to build upon this with the built-in Intel crypto acceleration, delivering the breakthrough performance across a host of important cryptographic algorithms, including public key, symmetric encryption, and hashing, which will reduce the performance impact of pervasive encryption and help our customers with greater protection of their sensitive data. This feature represents an unprecedented performance enhancements in cryptography that is only available on Xeon. And as you can see here, NGINX and IPsec are seeing amazing performance gains through these crypto acceleration capabilities. I wanted to do a quick overview of the additional elements in our portfolio that we touched on earlier that we announced. First, our Optane Persistent Memory 200 series, our next generation persistent memory modules, will deliver a 32% increase in memory bandwidth and up to 6 terabytes of total memory per socket. So that's 4 terabytes of persistent memory plus 2 terabytes of DRAM in a 2-socket third gen, or per socket, I should say, in the third gen Xeon servers. Over the past few years, we have seen momentum for Optane Persistent Memory with over 1,000 customer POCs and deployments across our cloud and enterprise customers. And we're seeing TCO benefits like VMware, who is able to lower infrastructure costs by up to 25% per VM while delivering the same performance. Today, in fact, we're converting over 80% of our POCs to revenue. Next, I'd like to turn to Optane SSDs. With our latest drives, we're delivering the fastest data-centered SSDs on the planet. So delivering up to 26x more IOPS per gigabyte to help saturate today's higher speed networks, delivering up to 66x higher quality of service to meet the more stringent SLAs, and delivering up to 13x lower latency for the faster actionable insights than NAND SSDs. Our customers have uncovered astounding value using Intel Optane SSDs. What I show here is the Intel 3D NAND SSDs that do offer the densest NAND media at 7 gigabytes per second with PCI Express Gen 4 read-write optimized performance and enterprise-grade quality and reliability. These SSDs have also been designed with QLC class leading endurance and deliver up to 5x higher endurance compared to the previous generation. And with these drives, we're able to reduce customer storage footprint by up to 20x, essentially delivering 1 petabyte of storage and 1 U of rack space. Moving to our connectivity solutions, we have the Intel Ethernet 800 series. With our latest Ethernet 800 series network adapters, we are increasing the network data throughput up to 100 gigabits per second per port and 200 gigabits per second per adapter. So that translates to up to 2x more resources for greater VM density. These solutions allow us to deliver a massive network bandwidth while supporting a common infrastructure. And then lastly, we're proudly launching AgileX FPGAs, which are shipping in production today. These FPGAs leverage Intel's 10 nanometer SuperFin process, and together with Quartus Prime software, we're delivering 2x better fabric performance per watt compared to competitive 7 nanometer FPGAs. They are also offer the industry's highest data rate SerDes transceivers with 400 gigabits per second Ethernet. And then my last slide is focused around the solution delivery, and that our customers rely on solution offerings to enable and accelerate deployments. So Intel Select Solutions and Intel Market Ready Solutions simplify the process of deploying Intel technology from the edge to the data center. And we started offering various reference architectures and software enabling solutions well over a decade ago. And 4 years ago, we launched our Intel Market Ready Solutions that targeted IoT and edge use cases, and also launched our Intel Select Solutions that target data center use cases. In that time, we've dramatically built out our portfolio of solutions, and today have over 500 partner solutions that are optimized for our platform and span from edge to cloud.
Yeah, I do have a question regarding to your network portfolio. Do you have smart NICs as well?
Yeah, we do. We're not making any announcements here on that.
Okay. And then I have a follow-up question regarding to the FPGAs. Are there any benefits of using the FPGAs in combination with the Xeon third generation chips?
Yeah, I don't have context on that. So I'd rather see if we can't get that kind of answer and get that kind of clarity. But we are looking at sort of the overall portfolio and looking at how does that portfolio all come together. But I don't have a specific example for you.
Do you have targets or goals for how many customers are going to be using some of these supporting products like the PMEM 200 or the Ethernet 800 in combination with the Xeon Scalable third generation platform? Or is this something that I guess we'll see about? I mean, is this something that you're really pushing as a combined product?
Well, absolutely. We referenced the high memory capacity advantage. I referenced various advantages for the persistent memory 200 series that we are introducing with the third gen Xeon Scalable processors, and so we are actively engaged in the ecosystem and working with customers. I referenced before when I flashed up the slide that that we are looking at over 1,000 customer POCs and deployments across our customers, cloud and enterprise, and that we are actively moving POCs to revenue at I mentioned the 80% number before. So yeah, great question, and certainly there's more to come on in that space.
So I have a question about kind of where this goes. Not asking you to divulge anything that you're uncomfortable talking about, but just thinking about how this plays out. When I think about the different components coming together, is that more advantageous to take advantage of in a cloud-based fashion? Or do you see that playing out better for those that are working with an on-prem type use case?
So, I mean, we're actively working with all partners, and it's a good question. Our attention to our cloud service providers and our engagements with our OEM and ODM partners is extensive, and you saw some of those statistics earlier that say that we'll have those broad solutions across the board going out. So we certainly see reference the multi-cloud environment as critical and trying to cover cloud to network to edge, and so we're actively engaged with all our customers and have many routes for customers for users to access the third gen Xeon Scalable platforms.
And when you talk about edge, you're not talking about, or are you talking about third gen Xenon processors at the edge?
Yeah, we're talking about the third gen Xeon Scalable platforms, widely deployed and capable. And so we have use cases and even referenced targeted processors to service those types of customers. So we're excited about the pervasiveness of Xeon Scalable.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, I mean, this is a pretty beefy processor. I think if you were to think about edge and IoT applications for it, it seems like you're using a really big hammer. And is that possible, especially when you think about heat and power and everything else that goes space, everything else that goes with it?
Yeah, great point, Tim. And we referenced the 40 core part. If you look at the statistics or the specs that we announced publicly, 270 watts. But we also have processors you'll see in that lineup that go down to 8 core and 80, even 85 watts. It's a configurable Intel Speed Select Performance Profile SKU that you can set down to 85 watts. So we have a wide spectrum of performance and power levels that enable those kinds of usages that you mentioned.